in the world. And he's in political science, which is a discipline with particular focus on international institutions such as the United Nations system. So in all regards, he's coming from a certain advantage, which means he's not going to be a minus. As also mentioned in the report, the last person who was our PAMSEC was Joy Ogu, is a professor of international relations. Even Joe Garba, who had a military background, who attended Harvard. So we have always put in quality individuals in that position, either as permanent rep or the few who ever climbed to become president of the General Assembly.
Okay, now let's talk about issues arising from on the sustainable development goals like climate change, universal health coverage. These are the major things to engage world leaders at the UNGA. So how do you think Nigeria can use the opportunity to tackle these challenges? Well,
if he is at the hub of the diplomatic negotiations, concessions, and it means he can put the Nigerian interest, not necessarily to the disadvantage of, it's a process of a consensus. The African consensus, the G77 consensus, right? Which means he has to put their priorities at the back of his mind. But he's a Nigerian, and his tone of mind is always going to start with the Nigerianness. And that means the issues he pushes, the ones he puts emphasis, he has identified poverty, education, and inclusivity. Those are going to become, by implication, Nigerian voices on the global scene. You cannot make a distinction between the two.
So, when we talk about terrorism, it's a world phenomenon. It happens all over the world. But in Nigeria, it's at the front burner. So, what does Nigeria stand to gain in her fight against terrorism from countries that will, like to key in to help Nigeria on that issue?
It means that when they are discussing terrorism, he's in a very good position to brief them on what exactly is going on in Nigeria. And information is power. To that extent, he can attract for Nigeria the kind of dynamics that are not ordinarily available outside that circle, which is very important because that's a very important circle. That's the hub of, that's the closest you have to a global government. Okay, the United Nations system is the closest you have to a global government, a world government. And if you are at the center of the processes there, it means you are already privileged. Especially if you can articulate particular positions about which you are more informed than others. Because the way Nigeria is discussed is basically what the media says about Nigeria, the global media. Some of the things they say are not necessarily correct, not because they want to harm us, but because they are not located here. They are located from different lenses.
So do you expect more international communities? Help, in the areas of many areas, political and national development?
He is now a global newsmaker, number one. That's the key advantage. The way you frame your problems, the way you push your case is the way the world takes it, right? So no better person can do it than him in the present position that he is. I can speak, but I am not the Secretary General of the EU. I'm not the President of the General Assembly. So
you're a stakeholder too.
Yeah, I am. So it's an advantage. It depends on how Nigeria configures our interests and how to materialize it at the global level. Now, before they have to rely on the traditional diplomatic institutions, the processes, the protocols. Now they have the agency factor. Because before we thought that structures and agencies operate in such a way that structures are more important, institutions are more important. Post-Cold War scholarship has reversed that agency, the human mind, is much more important, more strategic than structures. So having somebody at that key point becomes your moment if you know how to handle it.
So let's look at projecting into the next 1 year. What do you expect?
I expect that Nigeria's case will be better understood. Nigeria, the image of Nigeria as a country of scammers, country of rogues, country of mischief makers, should be subdued by his ability to emphasize the key things that he's emphasizing. Apart from peace and security, he has listed inclusivity, education, and poverty. If he's able, these are consensus issues. These are not controversial issues. If he's able to make his impact the way he defines them and the way he connects networks and be able to privilege key critical decisions, then it means all the credit will come back to Nigeria. The image of Nigeria will be diluted as a much more a country that is also thinking, because thinking is the key issue. Thinking is the key issue, and I'm happy that he comes from a background, an academic background, that thinking is very important.
You talked about poverty alleviation. The federal government said 100 million Nigerians will be taken out of poverty, and I'm sure it's going to be in conjunctions with the UN, African Union, and all that coming in to ensure that youth development is encouraged.
I think when he talked about poverty, he was talking about concerted efforts, overcoming lapses, where there are lapses in the system and where there are overlapping tendencies, so that the UN system will be doing something here, the countries of recipient. Now, so what he wants to stress, what he has stressed, is the question of streamlining. If Nigeria can key into, the UN is not like Nigeria, where we breach protocols and do things, and okay. So he's not going to say, because I'm Nigeria will. But it depends on how we key into the way they define the problems. Okay. So our ability to key in is the issue now.
Thank you so much for coming on Panorama. I've been talking with Dr. Adagbo Onoja, Department of Political Science, Veritas University of Abuja. I don't have doctorate degree. So. You soon get it, Mr. Adagbo. Thank you so much for coming on the program. Right. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Jummai.
We will take a break right now. Panorama continues right away.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thanks for rejoining us. Now talking judicial matters. The federal government says it will continue to protect the interest of Nigeria and her citizens. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami San gave this assurance in Abuja. Malami maintains that the government under the watch of President Muhammadu Buhari will not sell out the interests of the country to satisfy some elements who are all out to extort the people. While Nigeria will be willing to meet terms of agreements reached with genuine investors, Malami points out that the present administration will not allow fraudulent local and foreign collaborators to rip up the resources of the nation. The minister says from the award of the purported contract to the Process and Industrial Developments Limited, it is clear that it is a well-organized scam with the intention to defraud Nigeria. Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, says his victory at the State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal clearly attests to the ordination of his mandate by God. He stated this while reacting to the judicial decision in an interview with correspondent Adamu Sambu in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, on the sidelines of the just concluded Extraordinary ECOWAS Leaders Summit on Counter-Terrorism.
Mandate is a divine mandate. Anybody who continues to struggle with it is wasting his time. And I'm glad that the judiciary have been fair, they have been just. I'm glad that they have delivered their judgment meticulously, they have properly articulated it, they have dealt with all the issues, and I believe that this matter has now been put to rest. We can now focus on governance. I'm glad that all what I stood for in terms of good governance, I have started implementing it. All my visions, I've started implementing it in the areas of security, areas of good governance. I promise to be participatory, to be inclusive, to be just, to be fair, to be equitable. I promise to be transparent. I promise that I will be accountable. All that I've started doing. I promise that I will focus on security. I promise that I will focus on infrastructure. I've started doing all that across the state. Let everybody now join hands together so that we can build our future together in Ogun State.
Sports Minister continues inspection of stadia across the country as world record is set in athletics. Let's join Amanze Marcos with the sports update.
The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, says it is only after an audit of what is needed to fix the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, is conducted that a process will be put in motion to effect repairs on the edifice. Speaking during an inspection tour of the facility, Dare lamented the decaying state of the National Stadium while restating his commitment to renovating all sports facilities across the country. He also inspected the indoor sports hall, swimming pool, media center, and gymnasium, which are in good shape.
There is political will on the part of the President and the Presidency to make sure that national monuments such as this will find out options in which we can restore them back to glory.
The FIBA World Cup ended in China on Sunday with Spain victorious, defeating Argentina 95-75 points in the final match to be crowned basketball world champions.
There's so much quality in that Spanish national team setup. It's no surprise they're number 2 in the FIBA World Ranking. Of the basketball world tonight, Sergio Hernandez. They will be at the Olympics. They finished first at the World Cup. Nothing could be finer.
With sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Now a quick check on the weather prospect. And it's a wrap on Panorama today. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for watching.
NTA. You can't beat the rich.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Dab. Yes. Oh. Now my dirty they smell like this. Now to throw away, I'm quick. This kind of smell fit make man sick. That woman throw away dirty for ground. Me self go do the same this time around.
Hold up.
See, to do this kind badness by the book, you make sure say person no dey look. And then you drop am nicely, bros. Nothing will happen. Trust me.
See, if you throw away dirty for ground, another person self throw away dirty. Everybody come begin to throw away dirty for ground. Everywhere go come dey smell. Gutter go block, road go block, and you will like to dey dab. Now I'm say no more dabbing for you be that too. Dab. Yes.